Over the past few months of this channel, we've covered some pretty gosh darn bad legendary champions, man. Including some like Skeletor that are a little bit controversial and get people riled up in the comments, so no doubt we're gonna have some angry people in the comments of this one as well. But hey man, that is par for the course in videos like this. So what is up guys, this is Corb. This is one of the worst legendary champions of the game that I haven't covered yet on the channel. That frankly, if you enjoy these champions, good! All I'm suggesting is that they could be better, they could deserve some buffs, but it would be awesome if Plarium could take a look at some of these champions and chew them up just a little bit to make them even more awesome. And so without further ado, and a little bit of obligatory Numpkin cam action, let's get on to the picks, man. The first one is going to be in the Dark Elves faction. I'm going to leave you all in suspense there for a second while I remind you all about the beginner promo link that is down below the top of the video description box, man. Click on that link and use that link if you are ever looking to create a new raid account and get off to the most incredible start possible. Or send that link to a friend to get them start playing Raid Shadow Legends as well. You can, oh sorry, I just poked Numpkin in the eye. I got to pet him for just a second now. Make sure to get this link used to create a new raid account, man, before the end, before the end of the month of July, to make sure that you also cash in on Lemony C the Goldwing as your free login reward legendary champion as well, as part of a triple legendary start on your new raid account, man. It all begins by clicking on that beginner link down below, man. Now, the best part about making videos like this, and I make notes of videos like this, like on my other monitor, is that I forget why I even added some champions like Mr. Ghostborn here to this list. And so let's rediscover them together, man. The A1 for Mr. Ghostborn is a 100% land rate, strong version, decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. Okay, that's actually like not too shabby. Then on the A2, it's an attack all enemies, 3-turn cooldown, 100% chance, oh god, 100% chance of placing a heal reduction debuff for 2 turns. Damage based on attack and speed is definitely very, very peculiar, but that's it. That's all it does. And then on the A3, we've got a 4-turn cooldown, attack all enemies, 100% land rate, decreased defense for 2 turns, which he already brings on the A1. This debuff cannot be resisted. Okay, but all of his other stuff can be resisted, so you still have to build him with accuracy anyway. Am I wrong about that? Then place an increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. So basically he brings decreased defense and increased attack. And the decreased defense, unless you're relying on the A1, is a 4-turn cooldown booked. That's terrible. Okay, now I remember why I added this guy to the list. What the hell is going on? Or what's gone through Plarium's mind when they leave a champion like Ghostborn in the game? I gotta assume this is a very, very old legendary. Where would you even use a champion like this? I mean, wave content, I guess, but even then, you've got literal, you know, just regular quality epic champions that can do the job and just be placing the decreased defense for you and have it not on a 4-turn cooldown, ideally. I mean, genuinely, I'm not being facetious here when I say I think I'd rather, like, put the resources into building the rare champion Judge than I would building that nerd. At least Judge brings a 3-turn cooldown, attack all enemies 2 times. Then on his passive, each hit has a 30% chance of placing decreased accuracy, decreased speed, decreased attack, or decreased defense, all strong version debuffs. The debuffs only last for 1 turn with the Judge, but at least he's only got a 3-turn cooldown skill, you know? Okay, I might be pushing it a little bit with the Judge comparison, but Ghostborn, bloody hell, does this guy need some help. Next up in the Orc faction, we've got good old Robar, man, who, by the way, I feel is a little bit underrated, at least in terms of faction wars. If there's one thing he does okay, it's wave content. But again, you've got to compare Robar to the likes of rare and epic champions that can do a similar job, I think. I think that's actually important in the context of reviewing legendaries like this. So he brings an attack one enemy A1, 50% chance of placing stun, can't be increased by bucks, grants an extra turn if this debuff is successfully placed. So a chance of extra 10 with his A1 basically against wave content, useless against bosses. You know, it's okay, it's fine. On his A2, 3-turn cooldown, attack all enemies, 100% chance of placing decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. Okay, cool. So he's basically got War Maiden's A3 as his A2. I'm sure he hits harder than War Maiden. His attack is very, very high, actually, his base attack. We'll get to his base stats though in just a sec. And then on his A3, 4-turn cooldown, it's stuck at 4 turns cooldown. Attack all enemies, damage increases if the target is under fear, true fear, basically any hard crowd control debuffs. Doesn't tell you how much the damage increases by, but there you go. The issue with Robar is he's literally Thalesia but worse. Okay? He's literally Thalesia but worse. Okay, so Thalesia also brings a 3-turn cooldown, attack all enemies, decreased defense debuff. She brings an attack all enemies on her A2. It's a lower cooldown than Robar's A3, right, which is on a 4-turn cooldown. Hers is 3-turn cooldown and increases the duration of all debuffs and all enemies by 1 turn, so she's got like a pretty good little bit of bonus utility here. She also has a chance when attacking enemies under decreased defense of placing a hex debuff on them for 2 turns, so Her passive is really quite solid as well. Her A1, it doesn't apply a stun like Robar's. It gives a chance of debuff spread effect, which is more in keeping with her style and in keeping with her kit. And so there's some trade-off there. I'd rather have Robar's A1, I think, on a Thalesia for wave content. Oh my god, Numpkin's pulling open the curtain and ruining my lighting. Yeah, there you go, man. She's gonna go watch the birds for a little bit, man. But yeah, I don't know, dude. Am I crazy? Or is Thalesia basically Robar? I tell you what else, Thalesia has got 1,000 defense and 12,000 HP. Thalesia is considered very, very squishy for a epic champion to be used as like a debuffer, like a decreased defense champion. How much defense does Robar have? 694. 694? He's got a lot more base attack. He's got a lot more base HP as well, okay? But that low of defense makes him basically, I don't want to say unusable, but very, very difficult to keep alive against basically any boss content. It kind of just hard limits him to wave content, which is really, really sad and depressing. He's also quite slow, actually, at 97 speed. I don't know, dude. I feel like he's just a legendary Thalesia, man. I think he's just a legendary Thalesia, except she's slightly better against bosses because of the nature of her debuffs, and her debuff spread on her A1 is okay into Hydra, stuff like that. Robar? You ever gonna use Robar into Hydra? Guaranteed there'll be one guy in the comments now, Robar's in my Nightmare Hydra team, meh. Well, okay, I'm just saying, the guy could definitely use some buffs. Next up, the most awesome looking piece of crap in the game, Thea Tomb Angel. Man, does she look absolutely badass. I love the champion design on this gal. She's somewhat like billed as a Hydra specialist. She brings an ally attack aura in all battles, places perfect veil buff on herself, then gives herself an extra 10 on the A3, and then she attacks all enemies. Damage increases by 50% for each hex debuff on the enemy team, stacking up to a monstrous 300%. It is on a 410 cooldown, but remember she gets an extra 10 from the A3, right? So it reduces her cooldown just a little bit. And on A1, she does actually have a double hitter with a chance of placing Hex as well. 100% land red Hex for 5 turns. 5-turn duration Hex on the A1. And so she's basically just built for longer term fights against Hydra and to be smacking in with the A2 and not getting disrupted by the Head of Torment with this A3. There's only one problem, man. Thea Tomb Angel is awful. She's bloody terrible, okay? And I know because I recently did a Busted or Bad episode reviewing Thea the Tomb Angel. I tried her in lethal gear. I tried her in relentless gear even. You know, trying to just like leverage extra turns and just get more use out of her A2 against Hydra. She was out-damaged in every build by a Royal Guard, bro. Like, that's no like shade at Royal Guard, but he's an epic champion, man. Like, a Royal Guard should not be outperforming a champion that is solely designed to excel in Hydra. Thea Tomb Angel is bad, dude. This is not a good legendary at all. You get it for free, by the way, from Doom Tower Secret Rooms. Get it for free. Use the fragments during like a champion chase or during a CVC. Get some free points and stuff like that. That's basically all the use that you're ever going to get out of a Thea Tomb Angel. In my book, I was severely underwhelmed by this champion, and I really, really badly wanted to try and make her work in a video as well. It was just impossible. What does Thea need in order to be good? Just more damage. I have no problem with her being like a Hydra damage dealer specialist. I think that that's totally fine. I think it would be totally reasonable to have her A1 simply be an attack all enemies, place Hex. You know, like on everybody. I think it'll be totally okay. It would also just give her more damage on an A1 that way as well. And then I don't think the damage on the A2 needs to be boosted up that much. I mean, you don't want to go out of control with a skill that can stack up to 300%, but having it on either a lower cooldown or just giving it some 10 meter boost, like fill Thea's 10 meter by 40% after she uses this skill, or maybe make it so it increases the duration of debuffs on the target by a 10, or I don't know, dude, just do a little bit of something with it, man, because she was very, very underwhelming based on my tests. Next up, we're going to head into the High Elves faction for another old school style legendary by the name of Shiramani. How have I not touched on Shiramani yet in one of these like worst legendary videos? You know what the thing is with Shiramani is that she's actually not that bad into hard mode Fire Knight because she brings a triple hitter A1, 25% chance of placing freeze debuff for 110. Problem is, skill books don't improve this skill, and it's only a 25% chance of placing freeze. It's just not very good. And by the way, I'm mostly comparing this A1 as like a hard mode Fire Knight, 10 meter controller, killer kind of skill to the likes of epic champions such as, well, we've got Neldor Rhineblade. He also brings a triple hit A1. Each hit with him though has not a 25%, but a 40% chance booked of placing the freeze debuff for 110. Another epic champion, Creodan the Blue. He's also got a triple hitter A1, him with a 35% chance booked of placing freeze debuff for 110. Why do all of these epic champions have a higher land rate freeze than Shiramani? Dude, that's just like not okay at all. We've even got the likes of Pan the Boarhorn, who only brings a double hitter A1 with chance to freeze, but his is a 50% land rate. You know what I'm saying? Like, even this to me feels better into hard mode Fire Knight than Shiramani's A1. She is just so far behind, man. And then you've got the likes of Neldor and Creodan that we already touched on, who bring like increased speed buffs and 10-meter boost and AoE freezes against waves of enemies on like a 3-turn cooldown for Creodan. You know, I think it's Creodan that brings that. What's Shiramani got? She's got a 4-turn cooldown attack all enemies freeze, which is fine. Like, it's okay for an epic champion. Like, it feels like Creodan got Shiramani's kit. You know, Creodan is sitting there as an epic champion in the Sylvan Watches, and he's the one who picked up all of the legendary quality skills. Shiramani, meanwhile, stuck with a 4-turn cooldown freeze and a suboptimal multi-hitter freeze on her A1. Just double check that it is Creodan who brings the AoE freeze. Yeah, he does. So he's going to attack all enemies 2 times each hit with a 65% chance of placing freeze. That's pretty bloody reliable. And again, it's on a 3-turn cooldown, so it's like, I don't know, dude. I don't know what's going on with Shiramani. She just needs reduced cooldowns. Just make this a 3-turn cooldown on her A3. Her A2 is just like a heal, by the way. She just like heals the crap out of everybody. But I feel like a good hard mode Fire Knight team should never get hit by anything. You know? Like you should never let the waves get a 10 against your team. They should always be frozen, always be just under control, and then the boss should never get a 10 against your team either. And so the heal is just kind of redundant in the case of Shiramani. And the A1, make it like a 50% chance of placing freeze at least to make it so that she competes with those epic champions. Next up, we head on down low to the Dwarves faction. Where is he? Beauregard. There he is, man. This is another champion that I've added to the list. I can't even remember why. I remember just like encountering his kit and I made a note of his name, and that's how I plan out like these top champions videos. If a champion catches my eye, I'll like go ahead and make a note of them. So his A1 attacks one enemy, 65% chance booked of placing a decreased defense buff for 110 on the ally with the lowest HP. Okay, so a little bit of like to-go action. Will never be placed on Beauregard and has a 100% chance instead if this attack is critical. Do you want to build a Beauregard with a 100% crit? Is he that kind of dwarf? I just want to point out, by the way, that we've already got an epic champion to go who's got a better A1 than this. A double hitter A1. Okay, just a little extra value there. And also just 100% of the time places the increased defense buff for 2 turns on the ally with the lowest current HP. This can go on to go. Like, this skill is better than Beauregard's in every single way on to go. Oh, bloody hell, I just realized Beauregard's increased defense buff is only for 1 turn on the ally with the lowest HP. To go's is 2 turns. Like, what the hell, man? Why is it gonna be so obsolete, you know, just right off the get-go? He looks badass, by the way, which, like, further annoys me when, like, a legendary champion looks amazing and they just suck. As for his A2, what else has he got going on? Because I've genuinely forgotten. 3-turn cooldown, remove 1 random debuff from all allies. Okay. Weak already. Then place a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns equal to 20% of the champion's max HP. And that's it. Okay. I'm starting to remember why I put this guy on the list, man. What do you mean removes 1 random debuff, dude? We've got rare champions in this game that can deliver a full cleanse. Like, you look at Reliquary Tender. She's got a 3-turn cooldown, remove all debuffs from all allies, and then place continuous heal for 2 turns on all allies, which, you know, is comparable in some ways as a supporting skill to an AoE shield. Kind of, sort of, you know what I mean, right? It's way better than this legendary champion's A2, which is just crazy to me. And then on his A3, place increase res and increase speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. 4-turn cooldown. Ooh. 4-turn cooldown booked. Bro, I tell you what, his passive is quite interesting. Allies receive 10% less damage from champions whose resistance is lower than or equal to theirs. That's actually like kind of cool and unique. And it's not that I can't see the use for Beauregard in areas like maybe Frost Spider, where you want to like extra resistance action and a bit of debuff cleanse, a bit of shielding, that kind of thing. Maybe in a Hydra team where you're running a Mischief tank who needs the help, extra resistance, you know, resistance aura on Beauregard as well. I can see the uses for the guy. It just feels like every single one of his skills is just epic champion quality and really no better than that. Like, I don't know why the A1 is so like massively outperformed by Chagor's. I don't know why the A2 isn't just cleansing all debuffs. Like, come on, man, just remove all bloody debuffs. Like, I think that's totally fine. Maybe play some continuous heal buffs as well as the shield. Like, I think that would also be fine, because then if you're running him in a very heavy resistance team, like in Hydra or something, it would be nice to have the continuous heals up and knowing that they can't be stolen, you know, like that kind of thing would be kind of cool as well. Increase resistance, increase speed, 410 cooldown, like just make it a 310 and give it some 10 meter boost. I think that Borgal would be okay. Next up, this is going to be a controversial one, man. This is going to ruffle some feathers. Rajan Scarhide. Power crept or not? This one is as much of a question to y'all's watching as it is than anything. Really, most of his kit and the main reason that you build a Razin is the attack all enemies 100% 10 meter decrease on this skill. However, it's a 6 turn cooldown. 6 stinking turns is a lot. That means that like in your average Faction Wars run or something using a Rajan, you might get this off twice. You know, you might get this off twice, maybe like once against the first wave, and then the second time you use it might be against the boss. You know, the cooldown is just so bloody long. The rest of his kit is fine. 310 cooldown on the A2, chance of blessing, decreased defense, and weaken debuff for 210s. That's quite nice to have wrapped up in the same skill. But remember, we talk about like a legendary champion here as well. Should we be expecting more from Rajan? He brings a triple header A1. 45% chance buck to removing one random buff from the target. I'm assuming that that's on per hit. So his A1 is actually pretty decent. The A2 is pretty decent. It would be nice if this was like an AoE, you know? If this was like attack one enemy, decrease defense, weaken debuff, and then apply like a debuff spread effect, taking 2 random debuffs and spreading them to all enemies. Okay, that would be like a pretty saucy little buff without taking his A3 and making it like out of control and unhinged good. But you could just reduce the cooldown of this. Like, I'd rather this was like a 310 cooldown or like a 410 cooldown and make it like a 50 or 60% 10 meter decrease. I think that would actually just be a lot better. Personally, you know what I think of when I look at Rajan Scarhide? It reminds me of the Deacon Armstrong style champion where you're looking to control waves and apply debuffs to just get enemies dead faster. Except Deacon Armstrong has everything on an AoE, and I take a Deacon Armstrong over a Rajan Scarhide every single time, which is kind of crazy given that one is just a regular epic champion, not even a void epic, and one is legendary. And so with that kind of comparison, and then like his aura is resistance in arena battles by 90, you know, which is like odd. I'm definitely in the camp that Rajan could use a buff. It would also be helpful for new players as well, getting to fuse a good legendary champion that they can actually use as like a great wave controller to really help them out in multiple areas of the game when they're just getting started. Whereas Rajan, I feel like for most players, he just kind of falls by the wayside a little bit quick. Next up, man, onto the Shadowkin faction, where we have Jinro, who is a special mention here. I believe this is a free legendary champion that you get from clearing Hard Doom Tower secret rooms. Takes you a long time to get your hands on this guy, and he's a void legendary, man. Oh my god, he must be, oh my Jesus. Okay, he should be awesome. He isn't. Again, I looked this guy up last night. I can't even remember what he does. Let's find out together, boys. So he's got attack one enemy. Remember, void legendary, 1 step under mythical. Okay, this guy's gotta blow your socks off, man. Attacks one enemy, 60% chance bucked of increasing the cooldown of one of the target skills by 2 turns at random. Not a bad A1. I don't think. I think that's fine contextually set in situations in the game and stuff. Is A2 attacks one enemy, places a stun debuff for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. Will ignore block debuffs and block damage buffs. Okay, I mean, it's fine in PvP. It's fine in PvP, which is where I feel like the main considerations coming in here with block debuffs and block damage buffs. It's okay. It's just single target stun, but whatever. And then on the A3, place an increased defense buff on this champion for 3 turns and a counterattack buff for 2 turns. God's truth, that's all he does. That's all he does. Okay, I mean, he's got a passive as well. We'll check that again in just a second. He self-buffs, I repeat, with increased defense and counterattack on a 4-turn cooldown. Then his turn just ends. Like, no extra turn mechanic here or anything like that. So that he can counterattack in with the A1 and have a chance at increasing target's skill, I guess. And then he's got a stun on the A2. That's really all it does on a 3-turn cooldown. Now, the passive increases champion's defense each time they counterattack. Okay. Defense resets every time this champion gets a turn. And then his active effect on a 4-turn cooldown. At the end of this champion's turn, place a provoke debuff for 1 turn on all enemies. Oh my god, that's really good. that are under increased attack buffs. Oh god, wait a minute. No, it's terrible. Where do you use this guy? Where do you use General the Stork? Eternal Dragon? Maybe? Like counterattack using the A1, you know, like it's quite a strong. Maybe you bring him into Eternal Dragon, and the damage multiplier is even good on this A1. Let me check. Jesus, he's got a 2.1 score on hellhades.com. I mean, usually I like to play like Devil's Advocate with low rated champions on Hell Hades, but I'm struggling with this. Yeah, 3.3 multiplier on the A1. It's not even like a 4, so it's not even like a Fenix damage kind of A1. Certainly not a double hitter like Fenix's. A 4.9 multiplier on the A2, so like this isn't that amazing either. It's not like not ignoring defense or anything. I'm trying to like make the case in my head for like a PvP champion. I guess. I mean, literally besides Eternal Dragon, I cannot think of a single place where you use this guy. And what, you're gonna like fully book and fully build this guy to just use him at Eternal Dragon? One of the easiest like Doom Tower bosses ever, really. Like it's really not a problem. My god, is this guy really, really... I mean, this is a 5-star chicken. This is a Void Affinity chicken, man. Perhaps like pound for pound in terms of value it would take to build this guy. Pound for pound, maybe the worst champion in the game. Am I wrong in saying, is there a champion that's worse value than this? Like, considering it costs legendary tomes to build this guy and void shards to pull this guy, is there a worse champion in the game than General the Stork? Which is a real damn shame, dude. I'm a big fan of like the huge nose and like just like badass, you know, just like Eastern military vibe. It looks really, really cool. A big old headpiece on the guy. His weapon's pretty tight, you know, like... My god, though, is he bad. And there you have it, man. Like 6 or 7 fresh legendary champions that are just absolutely bloody awful inside of Raid Shadow Legends. And could really, again, if you've built any of these champions and got some good use out of them, good. I just hope that they get some buffs, man. I'd like everybody else to be as excited about them as you are. You know what I'm saying? Hey, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoy this one, man. If you're going to start off a new raid account in 2025, then get it done before the end of the month of July to secure your triple legendary start. For at the end of July, the Lemony Sea Champ Chase will no longer be startable on new raid accounts, man. So make sure that you get it used right now, even just to keep the account on the back burner in case something happens to your main account, or you want to play 2 accounts simultaneously, or whatever. You know what I'm saying, man? It all begins by clicking on the beginner promo link down below at the top of the description box to jumpstart your account on day 1 with Basilius Roanus as your starter Lego. Thanks for watching, and we're going to catch all of you all just a tad bit later, man.